Hello, I'm Andrew Raleigh, Marketing Manager here at J&M Machine. What I'm going to be talking about in this video is why you need to be selling high torque retention knobs versus traditional knobs, how to sell them, the benefits they offer, and a quick demonstration that you can do on your customer shop floor to show them why they need to be using high torque retention knobs. Now, there's a fundamental problem with a standard retention knob. It expands the tool holder when you install it. Most tool holders actually expand several times the grind tolerance over the AT3 grind limit when you install a standard retention knob. When a tool holder expands, it will no longer properly fit into the spindle. Now look at this tool holder right here, for example. What you see are two heavy wear marks, one at the small end of the holder and one at the large end. This mark at the small end is created by the standard retention knob. As this knob is tightened, these threads begin to exert a force against the threads of the tool holder right here and cause this tool holder to expand. Once you get expansion at this small end, this tool holder will no longer properly fit into the spindle. This tool holder is actually able to wobble in the spindle, causing this wear mark at the large end at the gauge line. You can imagine what the tool is doing at the end of this. Now, as a tool salesman, I imagine this is setting off some alarms in your head right now. You're probably thinking about run out, chatter, quality of finish, just to give you a few examples. You know every one of your customers have a problem with this or is definitely looking for ways to improve in this area. So now you're asking yourself, how does a high torque retention knob fix these problems? Well, let's first look at the visual differences between these two knobs. You will see the new high torque knob is much longer than a traditional knob. This knob is actually designed to be 1/32 short of minimum tap depth length of a standard tool holder. Now, by placing these threads actually deeper into the holder where there's more resistance, we avoid expansion. Then we added a pilot and a long undercut to remove any excessive threads. Now, we actually balance these knobs by starting and stopping the threads 180 degrees from each other. This combination of changes actually works so well that we filed a patent to protect our design rights and to give you, the distributor, a unique product to sell. Now, really the best part of this, it's an easy sell. Everybody who uses V-flange or cat tool holders already needs knobs. And these high torque retention knobs not only improve the quality of finish, they take care of problems with chatter, run out, and they reduce manufacturing time, and they actually lower milling costs anywhere from 10 to 30%. Now, if you have customers that are doing high precision work, these high torque knobs will deliver the close, consistent tolerances they want. On our website and in your literature, you'll find testimonials that you can use to show your customers what others have found. For example, Granite tooling systems, they manufacture tooling. They saved 26 minutes on a polishing operation. L.H. Thompson, now they manufacture aircraft parts. They found their machines are actually quieter when roughing stainless steel and titanium, and they had a drop in their power meter. And their Fadal machines, they actually no longer make a loud clunking noise when changing tools. Now, these are just a few examples of what customers have told us. Now, actually, most of you conduct your business out on the shop floor, so I want to show you a way to test for tool holder expansion right on your customer's shop floor. So I just showed you a minute ago what you're looking for is an uneven wear pattern and excessive marks, wear marks. You can actually detect this with a holder that's black oxide like this one or one that's been ground. You actually can see the wear marks right here and right here visually. Now, since this problem is actually not easily seen, people in turn do not believe they actually have the problem. The hardest thing about selling retention knobs is most people really just don't give them any consideration. They're an afterthought, but could be one of your customers' biggest sources of problems. Now, as a salesman, you need to show them they have this problem and how they can solve it. Now, I've come up with two different ways to show your customer how they can detect this problem. The first way to check for distortion is the taper shank test fixture, which we design and manufacture. Now, the inside of this is ground, just like the spindle of a CNC mill. And the indicators read in increments of 1/10,000th of an inch, and this gauge can detect 7 millionths increase in diameter of a tool holder. To check a tool holder, you would insert the holder without a retention knob into the taper test fixture and set the indicators to 0. And then you would actually remove the tool holder and insert a retention knob into the holder and tighten. Then actually what you do then is insert it back in the test fixture and take the readings of the movement of the indicators which measure the expansion. Now this process actually can work in reverse too. If you have a tool holder that you suspect that has a problem, you actually would remove it from the machine and perform the test. You would insert it just the way it is with the knob still in it and set your baseline. Then take the holder out and remove the knob and measure the change in reading and how much the diameter has diminished. Now we have our best luck selling the taper shank test fixture to companies that do high precision work where accuracy is key. Now we have a video online, one on our CD and one on YouTube, where you can watch an in-depth demonstration on how to use this test fixture. But there's an effective and quick method to show your customers they have the problem. And as a salesman, I feel you should try this first. It's called the Granite surface plate test. And the reason I like this test so much is you can do it right on your customer shop floor. And the test works best if you have a clean granite surface plate like this. What you do is ask your customer to remove a tool holder from their CNC mill that they're having problems with run out, chatter, or is actually being used in difficult applications. Now for demonstration purposes, I already have this tool holder right here with a knob in it. What I'm going to do is rub this tool holder shank along the top of the surface plate. The surface plate will actually leave a mark on the tool holder shank. Now if you get one solid line from the small end to the large end of the tool holder shank, there is no bulge. But if you get two separate lines, one on each side of the taper shank, these two lines are indicating the bulge is present. When you're looking for two lines, you're looking for a break in the line here and a break in the line right here. One solid line, two separate lines. Now if you remove this knob and perform this test again, you will get actually a perfectly straight line. This indicates that the tool holder returns back to its original condition, no bulge. Now to help with the proper installation, we've actually designed a socket to be used with installation retention knobs. Now one of the keys to success with this high torque installation is this torque specification chart that you see right here. Now this chart has specifications for 30, 40, 50, and 60 size spindles. Many people actually over tighten these knobs, which leads to tool holder expansion. Now on one hand, not to tighten the knobs enough is just as dangerous. If you leave them too loose, the threads will actually stretch and fatigue and then break because of the elastic zone of steel. What you do is look up the drawbar force of the machine and then set the torque wrench to the specified amount on the chart. Now for demonstration purposes, I've already installed a high torque retention knob at 30 foot-pounds using this socket and torque wrench. Now what I'm going to do is actually rub this tool holder across the granite surface plate. The key to this is not turning the tool holder while you're doing this. What you then look for is a perfectly straight line, which this J&M machine high torque retention knob has just done. Now, a straight line is indicating that the high torque retention knob did not create a bulge in the tool holder. So now you have a tool holder that's actually going to work the way they're designed to work. I want to take a second and tell you about an experience I had with one of our local distributors. I was actually asked to meet with them at one of their large customers because they were worried about tool holder expansion. So we met out on the shop floor and did a demonstration using the taper shank test fixture and their tool holder. I found the tool holder had expanded, and the guy looks at me and says, you know, we're not a high precision shop. If it fits, it works. And just kind of caught me off guard because I never had a customer who wasn't worried about run out, shatter, or even a couple millionths of an inch or thousandths of an inch. So I started talking about how it would help him improve production times and lower the wear and tear in his machine, and he kind of perks up. A few more minutes goes by, and I had to learn this guy had to actually work his way up to become shop supervisor. He didn't have really a strong engineering background, so I decided to take a different approach and showed him this Granite surface test. When I did this, it was easy for him to see he had an obvious problem. Now the point of this whole story is everybody has some form of problem that this high torque retention knob will solve. You just have to ask your customer what their concerns are. When we started talking about machine life and clunking sounds that were being made by his machines when changing tools, I found the problems that related to him. Whereas an engineer at a place like a Lockheed Martin, they want to see the taper shank test fixture, and a few thousandths of an inch is a big deal. So what are the key points you should know as a distributor? So it's the only balanced knob on the market. We take the time to start and stop our threads 180 degrees from each other. You will notice that they're black oxided to avoid rust and made from hot rolled 8620. We shot peen the metal after heat treating to relieve stress. We'll laser mark all of our parts with the date of manufacturing and a serial number. Now this is important to you because you can actually track the length of service and what type of applications they've been used in. Now we recommend that you inspect your knobs every year and replace them every 3 years. Now we do offer make particle inspection for knobs that are going into a critical application such as aerospace. Our knobs and sockets are available anywhere from Cat 30 all the way up to Cat 60 size. And we offer private labeling with your name and ordering phone number on the container. Now this makes sure that you get the reorders.
To place an order, contact J&M Machine